seeing dead girls, dead women, aunts, mothers, smiling with toothless mouths, throwing rice and offering her tokens, a pile of dirty gold coins at her feet, wealthy queen, and they applaud and dance in the dirt, the thunder like birds falling from the sky. And then someone said, not her, maybe he, that should something happen, though what something, when this is everything, all possible things already happening, things she cannot imagine. He would follow her to the skies, to the seas, to the ends of the earth. Yes, but what now? Now that they're here. She is to hear their pleas first, the recently dead, who've come to realize what this means, so their queen. She is to be sympathetic, comforting. She has a way with them, he says. They love their queen, but the way they plead for their lovers, their children. Just one more year, a week, a day, they'll make it worth it. They just have this one thing to say they didn't get to say before they. And now won't she help? Please understand, they remember all of it, and it hurts. No one said it would hurt. Can she heal them? Resurrect them? Can she send their family a message? Just this once? Can she give them what they were expecting? Just a little piece? Can she take what's left of them? Is this all that's left of them? Can she touch them at all? And she says, it'll get better, even though it won't, because better is for the living. So she says, no, she won't forget you, or it's okay that you left the door unlocked and the dog unfed, or yes, you're still beautiful, even now. And then finally, I'm sorry. She says it like a chant. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Until for days it's all she can say. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. For months, I'm sorry. In the evenings, in the mornings, in her bed, before sleep, whispering, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And he says, for what? But she has nothing to say. He'd have her dance among